We are coming onto the live media, of course, in the YouTube. And as we go ahead and appear here, we're excited just to be able to be part of the virtually ready media platform. And I'm very excited just week after week. We've been building momentum and just sharing with you about some of the previews of some of the things that we've been talking about. And this has been really highly educational from the feedback I've been getting from people, also, and just some of the things that I've been being able to hear about from the person that I'm with here today. We want to thank everyone to the Virtually Ready Media channel, and we're going to be giving you great high content in terms of how to prepare you for the new normal and new reality marketplace. I'm Jim T. Chong, the Walk Star, and I'm with none other than Mike Hayes, the Network King, that is here with us today. And we're going to be talking just directly about cross-group networking. We've been covering some great topics here as well. But Mike, how are you doing here today?
I'm doing great, Jim, and I'm really, really excited. You know, cross-group networking is about bringing groups together. And I've got a big announcement today. I think it's a great part of the cross-group networking strategy, how we work. And the announcement, I think, is something that I've shared with you. And so let's kind of get going and talk a little bit about, cross-group networking, the new reality, and then I'll go more into the details of really, I think, a very exciting new announcement in terms of our strategy.
Absolutely. Well, as you were out there, this year has been a historic year for a lot of different reasons. There's a lot of great groups to connect with. In cross group networking, when I originally met Mike Hayes earlier this year through Joanna Wright, I really saw he had something extremely special in terms of really synergizing and bringing together the various groups, and especially those that are really leading the way in terms of networking, connecting. Cross group networking itself, when you look at how it's put together, is very unique in its setup. But today we're going to be announcing just one of the examples of what we're trying to accomplish to help the networking arena as a whole just grow and be able to expand going into this next year. So, Mike, I want to turn this over to you as the Network King. Tell us a little bit about the cross group networking, and let us know about the announcement that you're going to be making as a great example to further the endeavor of just really heightening everyone's ability to network at a very high level. Mike Hayes.
Thanks, Jim. Let me do it chronologically. I think it'll be simpler. So after 30 years in media marketing at every level in the media, on air, advertising, publicity, you name it, and covering 1 to 3 media marketing trade shows every month for 15 years. If there's
That's a
anything,
long time.
that's a long time. That's a lot of media marketing trade shows. I learned a lot. Then in 2018, 2010, a few things happened in my life. Real estate crashed, and I lost my health for a while, but I had a miraculous operation that brought me back. And I came out of, luckily I'd done very well. So I came out of semi-retirement and really decided to help local businesses and chambers of commerce put on big networking events. I love doing it. We put on huge networking events, and they were really, really successful. Loved that. And so it brought the high visibility networking I was used to the local market. Then the pandemic hit. And so then I started putting on chronologically big networking, virtual online networking events. And they were a success. And I was really proud of myself. Oh gosh, these are great. I love it. Well, then I'm a follow-up guy. So I started to follow up with people and ask them, because we got great 97% satisfaction attendee rating. And I was really proud of that. But then when I started doing the follow-up, I go, well, how do you like the events and what could we do better? And what everyone told me was, Mike, the events are great, but I'm not closing business. I'm not getting new business out of it. I'm not closing sales. And it's just, I'm getting busier and busier and busier going to networking events, but I'm not really getting why I'm there out of it. And that made me really start to study it. And using my deep media background, what I realized, something very, very important, is that what it did is the new reality of business, Jim, it put things out of whack. It changed the orders of things. People rushed to networking events. And
Mm-hmm.
then to find out what's going on. And by doing that, it forced them to leave their branding storytelling that we did traditionally in advance before we would meet our customers or prospects. People would just go to networking events, became like awkward blind dates, like, well, who are you and why am I talking to you? And what,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about you. And
That's a great way to describe how networking is happening today, by the way. An
yeah,
awkward blind date.
exactly, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I realized all that marketing that went out the window, it made the other thing go out the window, sales. People were not selling. And so I realized that you can't eliminate the marketing, but you need to reorder it. So you can go to a networking event, but you still have to do the marketing and the branding, follow-up storytelling, but you do it afterwards. We've always heard the fortune is in the follow-up, but now I believe that your future is in the follow up. And if your future is in the follow up of your storytelling after you meet people, then the future of follow up storytelling is right here. It's in the phone, and for both after the pandemic and during the pandemic. So I've really started to focus on the follow up and using my deep media marketing background to help people with their follow up. So as I say, even though I used to be known as a NetworKing, now I say the real NetworKing is multimedia follow up, and that's really where the fortune is. So, but I love the strategy of cross group networking. So what I'm really excited about is the new cross groups that we are reaching out to and networking with, and that is the Happy Neighborhood Project, which you've been associated with. In fact, you were one of the first people that I kind of vetted them with
Mm-hmm.
because of your background, both in networking and also with Edwin and the Happy Neighbor Project. And when I heard from my buddy Jim T. Chong that they checked out, and then I started to really dig and do a deeper dive into it, Jim. And the more I learned, the more I liked it.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
uh,
and it's really interesting. I want to give a quick prop up to Edwin Edberry. He is a TEDx speaker. He's somebody that is not just building something from nothing. He's been building and working on it for years. And I think his tenacity and his experience and consistency is a great example of what manifests itself today. It's not just because he just chose to do it today to jump on the bandwagon, but really, this Happy Neighborhood Project has truly been his passion. And as you delve in there, just like with you and media, you being the network king, there's a lot behind that. It's not just that you chose today, oh my gosh, what are we going to do here during the pandemic? I'm going to be the network king. No, there's a whole foundation that that's being built on. So I just wanted to mention that about the Happy Neighborhood Project as well as about yourself as well, Mike.
well, the other thing I like about it, coming from the direct response industry, and the mantra of direct response is almost a way, if you learn this, it's almost a way to guarantee you'll be successful. And what it is it's test your offer, observe what's the reaction. Is it good? Is it bad? Adjust and then expand. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
formula. It's not just throw it up and see what happens. No, it's a test, observe, adjust, expand. Now, from people I've talked to in Happy Neighborhood Project, they've told me that Edwin has kind of used that. He's tried things that some things didn't work, some things work better than others,
Sure.
and that's a solid approach to
Yep.
building something that is a rock. And I look at Edwin as somebody I respect as a rock. I believe that Edwin will be there in the future. He's not one of these white in white tower gurus who wants to sell you a bunch of stuff and then buy and they're unreachable. You want to be solid. You want to be steady. You want to be there. That's why I put on the workspaces every day at 9 a.m. Drop in on me. You always know where I am. Ask Mike anything. And I don't want people to be networking tumbleweeds. I want them to have some solidity. Know who the other person is so you can vet them.
Mm-hmm.
You can edify each other and give referrals and make them memorable so you can better refer people, but also to bring some stability to it. And that's what I like about Edwin. And I've become a co-host. And what I'm working on now is integrating, because the more I can bring to the table for our cross group networking ambassadors and
Mm-hmm.
attendees,
Yep.
the more I can help, the people in the Happy Neighborhood Project. So Edwin's got a great mission. I think it's what's needed right now. I'm about breaking down barriers between men, women, black, white, old, young, all of us coming
Yep.
together. And I think Edwin's pretty much on that same mission as well. So I see it. I want to really build a perfect, seamless integration with the things that guys like you and I do: media marketing, storytelling, follow-up
Mm-hmm.
advertising and marketing and that kind of thing, with networking. So I love the cross group networking, but I'm about collaborations and integration. I think we can really help grow the Happy Neighborhood project with our cross group networking strategies and follow up.
One thing I wanted to highlight, you said a lot here. First off, again, kudos to Edwin Edeberry, and just a Happy Neighborhood Project. If you do research, he's got a rich past in why he does what he does, why the Happy Neighborhood Project is so important to him. But you and I, as we really capture the stories, Mike, one of the things I'm very excited about working with you is you have a real solid depth of broadcast, networking, storytelling. And I would say that I've been doing this for several years myself, but just you come from a different cloth, so to speak. Really, the depth of wisdom, what you have, is what's drawn me to you, because you've been able to integrate in definitely a lot of the foundational things of the past, but also a lot of the contemporary things, because there's not a lot of people that have been able to understand the old technology and really embrace the new technology coming in. And so I just want to give kudos to you. That's what makes you the network king. It's not really about just having the king, but it's about having the people under there too, the kingdom as well. All right. But the whole thing is that what you've been building is very true to who you are, what you're saying. You are really here to help people cross group network. It's not about building one kingdom. It's really about helping the tide rise and everyone on the tide rise together. And that's why I think, as we discuss the Happy Neighborhood Project, we're going to be a big benefit to the Happy Neighborhood Project. It's going to be collaborative, hopefully. And I know that there's a lot of great things that we have to learn from what we're going to be doing here in collaborating a lot of different groups. But Mike, I just wanted to make that comment here, because what is happening here, it's easy to say, oh yeah, two groups getting together. No, this is very unique. You don't see Google and Yahoo coming together saying, let's help each other. You just don't see it happening for a lot of different reasons. But I just want to set the foundation so that people really understand the significance of what we're trying to do here in cross group networking. So Mike Hayes, back to you.
Well, I honestly, I do have such a deep background. I've worked so hard at it. It's nothing I brag about. It's just something I did. And if
Mm-hmm.
I liked it or not, I learned by osmosis so much that I'm never afraid to collaborate. I have no fear of collaboration. Many people talk the talk, but they don't really walk the walk of collaborations. I have zero fear of collaborations, because I know I'll bring enough to the table that there's always a place at the table for me. So I think a collaboration to support the great work that Edwin, it fits my morality, it fits my business ethics. Everything that he's doing, I'm in alignment with already. So nobody can do everything. and I think we could be a very good fit. And I do believe in cross promotions. That's really the sign of a true collaboration. And as you and I have learned by working together with each other,
Yeah.
it's about that supporting each other and being there for each other and being that rock that people can count on. The bottom line is you got the way I look at it, and I've been trying to think of how do I really look at the two sides of the coin. And really, I think here's what it comes down to. This is what I came up with is the old saying is love and marriage go together. And if you think about that, networking is like courting to build a relationship. And if a
Mm-hmm.
king has a court, maybe it's courting. But that's part of building the relationship. But you don't want to just date around. I've been married for almost, well, going, it's over 40 years, going on 45 years before long, but for a long, long time, because I understand relationships and I understand building relationships that last. And
Yes.
that's really what it comes down to. So, but to get an agreement, to get business, it takes an agreement. It takes getting beyond just dating around to making a decision. Who are you going to hire to help you or do this or that? And to me, that's kind of the networking and getting businesses. Like there's the building the love and courting, but then building the agreement in the marriage to get the kind of long-term business relationship. Ideally, it could be a short-term one, but to get to that agreement, when you have that agreement, that's when you can build a really solid relationship and grow a business. So it's about not just networking, dating, but getting down to the agreement.
Yeah. You know, there's a statement I was just looking up as we talked about this, and I think this age old adage, holds very true, especially in today's modern world. It's by John Donne and it came out in 1624. Do you know what quote I'm referring to, Mike?
Have you said it earlier today?
I may have made reference to it. I don't
Okay.
I don't think we did since the beginning of the podcast.
Well,
It
by all
talks
means, I'm not going to steal your thunder, Jim. So go ahead and.
Okay, so it talks about the fact that no man is an island, right? It says, no man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. And I know we've all heard this expression, and it holds really true in networking. No group is that island. No group is that self-sustaining group that doesn't need other ancillary connections, right? Everyone plays a specific role. And I believe therein lies the real key to really see the significance of every contributor of whatever network you're trying to build or whatever network you're out there trying to achieve. John Doe actually made that expression all about talking about the isolation of man, but the need for man to really come together. And what better way to really demonstrate this than a historic year where we have a lot of opportunities to bring together a lot of big, significant groups where really a lot of the old models in which we've built ourselves on have been shattered, right? A lot
Yeah.
of the chambers of commerce, the four wall sort of companies, the restaurants, who would have thought
I
that
know.
all of the restaurants would go through the traumatic ordeal and change that we've gone through in just a few several months? Everything's changed. And yet, we are called really to all do our part. And that's what I love about cross group networking, to bring it all back together here is you are truly living out this whole mission of really bringing things together, not really trying to be the island. Now, there does need to be hubs, there does need to be centerpieces. We understand that. Without true leadership, not everyone gets to play quarterback, right, on a team,
And not
right?
and not everyone needs to be the leader. Some people
Exactly.
don't want to be. So it
Yeah.
goes for everybody.
But I just wanted to make a good highlight of this because as we talk about this whole concept of what we're doing with cross group networking, it's really a simple concept, but not an easy concept to truly implement because we have human nature. We have a lot of dynamics, Mike. It's kind of amazing just because okay, I'm sure Edwin would say that. I have my own groups that I lead. I work with different people that lead different organizations. You yourself, Mike, just because you say it doesn't necessarily happen where everyone synergizes to exactly what you want to accomplish. Does that just happen?
Well, no, it's a matter of as Steve Jobs said, people don't know what they want until you show it to them, and so we
Very good quote, by the way.
it's a great one. I love it. So, what we try to do is help people see what the vision is, and we want to help them to express their vision. And when they do, then the sky's the limit. Now, since we are part of the new reality, I have to say that I've got another. My Blitzer users group meeting is starting now, so I'm going to have to wrap this up, but. We're here Mondays and Wednesdays, and our next cross group networking event is December 17th, and it's at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And you can email me for more at mike@crossgroupnetworking.com. Thank
Great.
you. Great.
And we just want to thank all of you for joining us here today. So much is happening in this virtual space here. Stay tuned. Make sure you tune in with us again
Like,
Mondays and Wednesdays at noon,
like,
right?
it, subscribe.
And definitely subscribe. This we're starting to really put the formations of the channel. We mentioned we were debuting it here in later November, early December, so we really want to grow this to be a phenomenal global resource. And so we just want to highlight each of you. Stay safe. We'll catch you next week. This is Jim T. Chong, the Walk Star, along with
Mike Hayes, aka your network king.
now off to some blitzing. Bye bye.